exciting. I mean, you kind of pass the baby stuff of just simple multiplication, division, adding, and all that stuff. And these things start to get a little bit more complicated. Did I mention next year will be the hardest math year of your life? I just want you to be aware of that. I can't change it. It's just the way it is. But you should be happy that it comes next year and not when you get to high school. Remember this one little fact here, kids. Proportions are nothing more than equal fractions. And one thing you realize when you have equal fractions, let's say I have 3/8 equals 6/16. One thing you realize when you have equal fractions, I'm going to tell you the way I was taught that we never ever say this anymore. The means equal the extremes. I don't know what that means, but I've always wanted to say that. Okay, which means nothing more than this. When you have two equal fractions, when you multiply the diagonals, comma, they have the same product. Nobody knows what that means, but it's always good to put it in words. That's why we do examples. If two fractions are proportional, are equal, that means this is true. If I multiply this times this, 6 times 8, guess what I get? 6 times 8 equals 48. And if I multiply the other two diagonals, guess what I get? 3 times 16 equals 48. The means equals the extremes. I don't know what that means, but the two diagonals have to be equal. Okay. Which, by the way, have I told you this? If you're ever comparing fractions, the fast way to compare fractions, for example, if you have 3/5 and you're comparing that to, let's say, 7/10. The world's quickest way to see which fraction is bigger, before now we change the same denominators. World's quickest way is to do this. Start at the bottom and go up to this diagonal up there. What's 5 times 7?
35.
35. Start down here, go up here, multiply. What's 10 times 3?
30.
30. This fraction is bigger than that fraction. Okay, because it's whatever means is equal to that. Okay. If they were the same, like this was, then they'd be two equal fractions. For example, if I had 3/5 and 9/15. Are those two fractions equal? Well, 15 times 3 is 45, and 5 times 9 is 45, so they have to be equal. Now, to which you're going to say, so what? Please say that.
So what?
Well, so what? It comes as a helpful little thing when you see something like this. 6 over, this is the whole point of everything today. 6 over 9 equals 10 over m. In the past, how did we do this? Well, you would say to yourself, well, what times 6 gives me 10? Well, there is something, it's a fraction, but you probably don't want to think about that. Okay? So as it stands right there, really, we can't do that problem until you think about what we just talked about here. All right? What I just talked about was, we know that if they're two equal fractions, that their diagonals must be equal. That means we can make what we call an equation out of this, which means I can take 6 times what number equals 9 times 10. Or 6 times what number equals 90. How do I figure that out? Anybody? 6 times what number is 90? Maggie, I have to
90 divided by 6.
right, divide 90 by 6, and I get, I believe, 15? Sure, 15.
It's just
m equals 15. Okay? And that is something 8th graders use now, so you might as well kind of get used to it. If it's something that does work, you don't have to do this, but when it doesn't work, that you can figure out what times what gives you that, you need to do what we just did here. And I always do the letter first because I like the letter on the other side. Let's look at another case. What about 12 over 16 equals y over 20? 12 over 16 equals what number over 20? Again, how do you go from 16 to 20? You can't really. And if you can't, then you need to use cross, we call it cross products. Or cross multiplying, either way you want to say it there. So you take this times this, 16 times what number equals 12 times 20? It might take a little bit more math than you're used to, but hey, you are almost at the end of your 6th grade year. What is 12 times 20? 240. And then to find my answer, it's always going to be divide by 16 or whatever is in front of that y. 16 goes into 240. Times. Kind of see that? Does that look like a winner? Let me see if I can find another one for you, just because. How about 9 over 12 equals n over 20? 9 over 12 equals n over 20. I'm going to let you do this one. See what you come up with. Welcome to the world of kind of algebra. Which kind, I don't know. We did get an answer. Logan says
I got 18.
18. Let's see what happens. I'm going to do the math here. Again, I like to do the n one first. It doesn't matter. But 12 times what number equals 9 times 20? 12 times what number? 9 times 20 is 180, correct?
Yeah.
So sure that's going to be 18 now. Divide by 12. Well, I guess I can just do it over here. 180 divided by 12 is, I get 15, actually. Logan, you know where you went wrong?
Oh, I divide 10 by 1.
Yeah. Questions on that? Do you think you got a handle on it?